Before we take a look at the day's business news, let's first take a look at the stock indices across the GCC. And in our top business stories, salary rises are on the horizon for this year, as UAE employees are expected to see a 5% hike in income. A new survey from Mercer shows that the general salary increase expectations in the GCC region range from about 5 to 6%, with Saudi Arabia to enjoy the highest increase in pay of 6% in 2013. A company official was quoted as saying that anticipated pay increases are affected by consumer price inflation and that the anticipated pay increases in 2013 are predicted to be above the forecast inflation, generating real pay growth for employees, a sign of development. In the coming year, threats to mobile devices will become even more of a focus for cyber criminals. That's according to McAfee Labs. The McAfee 2013 Threat Predictions Report shows that the influence of the hacktivist group Anonymous will decline, and large-scale attacks that attempt to destroy infrastructure will increase. Additionally, some of the prominent trends in 2013 will include ransomware that will lock up a phone or tablet and threaten to keep it locked until a ransom is paid, while a new mobile worm will go on a major shopping spree in 2013, where a Trojan horse program buys apps without user permission. In all, cybercriminals and hacktivists will strengthen and evolve the techniques and tools they use to assault privacy, bank accounts, mobile devices, businesses, organisations and homes. The UAE in particular is a target due to the vast number of banks in the country.
I think the UAE has a large banking industry and financial companies. So we already see an increase of specific malware, which actually was aimed for the US bank environment in the US. But already we see now signals and signs that the criminals are testing the malware out here in UAE, and we see already a lot of infections. We are currently investigating those infections and try to release a threat advisory around that. Sometimes what criminals try to do is to do like a small amount taking off your credit card balance. So it looks like a paid service. They put like a description of service costs. So that's something you really should verify with your credit card or bank company as well.
And in other business news, the US dollar made significant gains in the first trading week of 2013, as the FOMC meeting showed a possible winding down of its asset purchases during the year ahead. The yen continued to weaken to its weakest levels in over 4 months against the US dollar, with gold and the euro also slipping against the greenback. With a slew of key figures emerging from Europe this week, all eyes will focus on Draghi's rate decision on Thursday. Well, to discuss this further, we earlier spoke with Gaurav Kashyap, the head of the DGCX desk at Alpari Middle East.
The US dollar managed to kick off 2013 on a very positive note, making some very significant gains against the euro and the yen, and also against gold. Now remember, the key event in last week's trading week was the release of the FOMC meeting minutes, which hinted that the Federal Reserve would consider winding down asset purchases at some point during 2013. And of course, the end of these asset purchases lent a lot of buying support to the US dollar, and that's why we saw a lot of significant gains against those particular three asset classes. Friday's US non-farm payroll report was largely an event. Basically, the figure came absolutely in line with expectations, with only the unemployment rate weakening slightly. Going forward in the week ahead, we expect the US dollar to remain on the front foot against the euro. We have a host of key data coming out from the Eurozone this week. Retail sales are expected, as well as unemployment and consumer confidence. Now, these are all expected to weaken in the lead up to Mario Draghi's interest rate decision on Thursday, and he's expected to have a very downbeat forecast with regards to growth prospects there. So the euro looks good to probably closed the week below 130. Into the emerging markets, China is expected to announce some improving trade data as well as industrial production figures, and this should lend some good buying support into the Australian dollar. We're expecting the Australian dollar to close above 1.05, but once again, the US dollar will remain on the front foot against the euro as well as gold.